Hey guys, what up? This is White Lightning here, and we're back again with another one of these episodes, and it shouldn't be a very long one. And it is just an update on the story with me and her, because there has been a few new things thrown in there, and in a lot of ways, it's also a conclusion. It's the end of it all, at least from my perspective. Um, Before I do get into it, I have to mention two things. One, none of this or any of these have been here to bash her or say anything negative about her. I have to specify that because of what's happened recently, since she thinks I'm doing bad things to her, I guess. I'm saying bad things or whatever. And two, I have to go into some brief history, some context essentially, on what happened before something this all happened to give context for another part, which is why I'm being specific about this. But let's go ahead and get into that. So the context I have to give is obviously I'm in a new apartment. So the 29th of December, I ended the lease and I had to move. Well, I didn't have this apartment until the 11th the 11th of January. So I had a brief point in time where I was basically homeless. Luckily, my friend Logan, I knew him well enough, and his family wanted me to go live with them until I got the apartment and all that. So I spent 2 weeks there with them essentially. And the reason why this is getting brought up is because on New Year's Eve, I went to his friend's house for New Year's Eve because he invited me to go with him. And on New Year's Eve, essentially, I ended up posting a picture or pictures about Lupita and I, and I'm actually going to pull that up in a second, where it was me going through my 2021 and summarizing it all, going all the way down. And I will go ahead and pull that up real quick. Here we are. So this is what I post right here, with this being my caption. Now, keep in mind, this is what I post, and in this itself, like I'm saying, hey, I lost her. It sucks, but hopefully my 2022 is going to be better just because of it. And I have pictures of us as the starting, and the last picture is of just me. And I will go ahead and actually click through this real quick to show you. The last picture right here is just me. This is the night of, right before everything happens, or right before. So I post this to kind of like be, here's my resolution for this past year. And of course, she's a big part of it, so I have to have her in it, type of thing, right? So I do that. And later on that night, and I have to mention this story for another reason, but later on that night, for example, I was talking with his friend's girlfriend or whatever. I don't really know their situation, all that, but and telling her some of like the story of what happened and how things ended up between me and her, and me and Lupita. And she basically said, "Hey, you need to stop defending her," and that threw me off guard. And I realized in a lot of my statements where I'm explaining what happened or whatever else, I'm always being like, to be fair, this for her or whatever. And to a lot of people, it sounds like I'm defending her. And even later on that night, I asked Logan straight up, a friend that I spent the time with, and he knows all this. He was a part of this. He's the person she went to when she ended things. And he's the person that she spent the night at his house the night after she ended things. Um, I asked him straight up, like, does it sound like I'm defending her? And he's like, yeah. To most people that don't know what's going on or anything or don't know you, it sounds like you're defending her. And the main reason I'm bringing this up is all because of how things went down literally that day. So we're now in New Year's Day. So it's January 1st. I go to work. I end up having to dispense at like 11. So right when I get to work, I had to dispense. So I was taking groceries in and out. I end up feeling my phone vibrate, and I'm like, "Who the fuck's calling me this early?" I look up. Lo and behold, it's Lupita calling me on Messenger. Now, when I posted the pictures of me and her and stuff, I knew sooner or later she'd probably be pissed off a little bit about it because it's like, oh, why are you posting me type of thing. And it's like, it had nothing to do with her specifically. It was just my resolution for the year. So I didn't, it's not that big a deal. And it's not like I'm using it as like propaganda or something stupid like that. I'm just, this is my 2021 going to 2022. So knowing that, and knowing that that meant she unblocked me to call me on Messenger. I knew she had to probably seen that, so I assumed she was going to sit there and complain about that. Hence why I click end call with her. I don't accept the call and I turn my phone off for an hour, knowing that she would end up texting Logan and telling him what's going on and all that. So I basically completely ignore it because I already know I'm just gonna get whined at. Like there's no good coming from this. She's not coming to talk to me about anything other than just whining at me about something. So fast forward an hour, I finish my dispensing, I turn my phone on, and I call Logan. Logan proceeds to tell me that she's pissed off because the pictures. It's basically trying to sit there and say I am holding off. I'm holding on to the past because of those pictures and all that. When clearly in the thing it says I'm not. And then she has a problem with in the story of me and her, I said something that she considered wrong. And in the moment when I said it, I wasn't sure about it. And I think now, after actually replaying the video and actually watching it back, and I have to specify this, I haven't scripted any of these at all. It's all been straight off the top of my head. So when I watched it back and remembered why I said what I said, it made 100% sense. It fit in the story. It was a big part of like what we were in a lot of ways. And apparently she got really hurt by it. She broke down because of whatever else. And at this point, I had a text from her that I didn't really look at, but I had one and I was just like, whatever. I'll look at it after I talked to Logan. But Logan told me she was mad about that and saying how I was trying to hurt her, and she was trying to tell him that I'm sitting there just saying all these bad things about her and that I am doing all these bad things and da da da. And it's like, that's why I brought up everything else, because everyone else that I tell a story about this or anything like this, they all sit there and say I'm defending her and I'm just being way too nice. But apparently in her mind, I'm doing the opposite. I'm just saying all these bad things to her. A lot of theories about why that, but we won't get into that. So from there, her text, I saw that she had a text to me, and I ended up looking at it, and she essentially, which I will also pull up because again, it is a little important with this, as well as there's a little bit of a, not mockery in it, but there's a little bit to where I'm like, all right, like you, come on, really? So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right now. So she ends up basically saying this. Now, mind you, I did edit out a few parts, as you can say, by deleted text, because she specified what I said wrong or what I said in my video in her text. And obviously, I went back and actually edited it out so that it's not a problem. It's done. It's over. There's no more bullshit, right? I edited it out. Hence why, again, I'm going to edit out of the text. But she basically goes and tries to tell me I never fully loved her and all these things. And it's like, she doesn't realize that even now I'm just still hurting after all this and still a lot of things happen. But so she presents to say this and basically saying she'll never unblock me now, da da da. She goes through and does her goodbye and whatever. The thing that everyone is confused by, when I mean everyone, I mean anyone that's seen this text, is this heart. They're very confused by that, and so am I, but that's neither here nor there. So she proceeds to send this. Now, mind you, everyone else says I'm defending her. Everyone else says it's not a big deal. And this is where we get into some of the other things. In this statement, before everything ends fully, I am living with Logan, so I'm talking to him about it. And I'm like, I straight up asked him what his opinion on this matter was. He straight up tells me I did nothing wrong because I showed him the unedited video. I showed him, he knew the post. He saw the post on Facebook. I was told straight up, I'm not doing anything wrong. He's been the one that's been like the middle ground between us, and it's been like whenever I'm having problems, he's middle. He's trying to be there for both sides type of thing. This one, he straight up told me, no, she fucked up here. This is not your fault. Hence why I do go end up sending her a final message to where I am now done. Like, I say what I say and I end it on the last words I do want her to hear from me. Because again, I can't be this guy for her, man. I really can't be the guy that she always goes back to either complain about or then just magically all of a sudden like I can't be that anymore. Doesn't change some of my promises I made to her, which I will be pulling up what I sent to her as well. It has been slightly edited because in the moment I was saying some things that were a little more because of my mindset. I was in a really bad mental, so some of it was stated a little wrong. So I don't necessarily want to be like, yeah, this is like 100% what I meant, but I will show you that in a few minutes. Um, but she basically tried to. I love the fact she tried to sit there and just tell Logan all this stuff, and Logan's really like, he defends you more than anything, but okay. She just wouldn't listen or anything, but that's fine. So now your question may be, how do I message her? Well, I had a burner Facebook account that I've had for a long, long time, and it was added on her. She was added on it. So I went to that and I sent my message, and I'm 90% sure if she replied to it. I don't care. I haven't looked at it and I won't look at it because there's no reason to. But essentially, I will go ahead and pull up what I said, and I will have to do a little scrolling because I do post a lot in this, as well as I have some quotes from songs. So I'll go ahead and show that now. But I basically go through and, in a lot of ways, I give her what she wants. I know with all of this, she apparently unblocked me originally for to make sure we didn't have bad blood, and then saw the things and got pissed off and did all these things. And I know she didn't do it for that reason. For the exact reason that if you unblock someone because you don't want to have bad blood with them, you would say, hey, I unblocked you, or hey, I don't want us to have blood, or something. Not instantly snoop through their Facebook or go to the YouTube and snoop, which tells me she was there for a different reason. And if maybe the reason was to get a response out of me that she wants. And I think that's honestly what it comes down to. Since the way I ended everything with me and her, the way I did things, not her, the way I did things, like with helping her get out, helping her get the ticket, helping her leave, doing all the nice things I did, it didn't portray the person that she tried to make me out to be. The reason she had to leave was because of all these reasons, and since the way I reacted wasn't that way, I feel like in a lot of ways she had to find a way to try to push it, right? Push it to that point so that there was something to be like, oh yeah, this is why I left. So I feel bad about this response in the beginning a little bit because I am giving her that satisfaction. I am giving the not full douchebag version of me, but I was giving some of it with some of my statements. I still agree with everything I say. I just don't agree that I said it. Because again, some of it was an emotional response. It's not fully what she wanted. But it is, me going into some of my douchebag statements and plays and stuff. So I can't deny that, and I won't. But essentially, I send this text out and I leave it off as the last things I want to say to her ever. I can't. The hardest way to put this and the easiest way to put this, a day after she did this, I forgave her. And that's how bad this is. Like, I love her so dearly that a day after doing something like this, fucking with my head, trying to tell me I'm the worst person in the world, and all these things, I still forgave her the next day. Because in my heart, I can't stay mad at her, especially because I want her to be happy. I want to be that guy that makes her happy. I want to be the nice person to her. And that's why I can't do this anymore. I have to end it before I have a fucking problem. And that's the truth. In the end, it all comes down to this. She did this for whatever reason, whether it's bad blood or not. But she still didn't need to do it this way. And she didn't need to, react the way she did. Like, if she had a problem with it and just said, hey, I have a problem with all these kind of are fucked up and you need to remove it or whatever, all fine and dandy. That would show she actually doesn't want bad blood. But no, she instantly flipped and had to have all these bad things and starts just speaking all these bad things about me because she could. So that tells me it wasn't for that reason. And whether or not she believes it was or not doesn't matter. Her actions speak way louder than what she said. And it's not like I trust what she says anymore anyway, because, kind of the way she did everything was untrustworthy. But I can't be this guy anymore. If she needs me mentally because she's having a hard time, I will listen, but I won't talk unless I have to. Because again, I want those last words to be the last words she ever hears from me. Because that will end it on good blood, and it is honestly the last words that I really want to say to her. Nothing negative. She fucked up real hard with me. She could have had so much more with me if she just tried. She didn't care. Sooner or later, I'm gonna be real with you, sooner or later, she's going to realize that. But not now. Right now, she's got that happiness. And I hope she holds on to that happiness, because it's gonna, if it fades, she's gonna have a hard time. A lot of my statements that I said in that, I agree with 100%. She just doesn't deal with her past well, and she has a hard time with her past, and that's fine. She can also be mature and just say that instead of having to go on the blame game for all this. But not my problem. I don't expect her to ever watch this. And if she does, I don't know why you're watching this. Like, I don't know why she even went back and watched the other one. None of this makes sense to me. And it never will. But it's fine. This is it. I can't do this anymore with her. I can't be that guy for her anymore. And whether or not she ever actually does unblock me or not, doesn't matter. After I sent that message, I blocked her and everything. And it's going to remain that way because there's no reason for it. If she really needs to contact me, she has Logan anyway, so it's not like it does too much. But I can't be the guy that always forgives and then just gets hurt more and more. She'll never understand what she did to me, and that's okay. I don't wish this upon her. I do wish she learns her lesson and realizes what she did, but I don't wish this upon her. And honestly, this is the conclusion of me and her. Such a bad conclusion, but it is what it is. And just in case she is actually watching this, I have to end it this way as well. My last words to her: she is my favorite person. Guaranteed. I will love her, and I do love her. That won't change. I hope she stays happy, and I hope her and his life ends up good.